Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Dream Big with Zhanna, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. And today, if you're watching us live or in replay on YouTube or here on this page on Facebook, Hummingbird Academy today, you can see two beautiful ladies on the screen. And if you are just listening to us, let me introduce them to you. So we have this master healer who you already are familiar with from the previous episode. It's Abby Rohrer. Abby, can you please wave your hand so that they know who you are? Yes. So Abby Rohrer, who is going to be actually doing something interesting today, something we haven't experienced here on the program before. We are going to experience Abby's work when she is doing the healing and clearing around any blocks that our other surprise guest, who is not a surprise anymore, her name is Corey Perez. Welcome, Corey. To the show. So Abby is going to do the work and do really her magic on Corey around any blocks that Corey has around her business. And so if you guys are watching and you're the business owner and you would like to see in real time how and what is happening, then you have this rare opportunity to do so. Before we jump in, I would love to give you just a little bit of the background story for Abby so that you know her background and what she's all about and what work she does in the world. So, in this, Abby Rohrer is a master healer and teacher. Professional women around the world hire Abby to supercharge their confidence, relationships, and success. As the creator of the Anxiety Antidote, Abby uses her proven method and also teaches women how to neutralize nervous energy in your mind and body, making it easy to stop self-doubt, anxiety, negative habits, and avoiding or procrastinating, allowing you to show up in all areas of your life with clarity and confidence. And if you are interested in Abby's story, in the whole journey on how and why she does that, go back and watch the first episode where she generously shares, really in a vulnerable and raw, genuine way, on what really led her to do the work that she does. And her method is described by me just like pure magic. So, Abby and Corey, welcome to the show. And take on from here.
Thanks so much, Shana.
You're welcome.
Okay. Hi, Corey. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here.
Great. So, Corey, you and I I think you've identified one or two issues or challenges around your business that you would like to work on today.
Yes.
So, which one of those do you most want to start with?
I am open to either option. I really kind of feel like the anxiety maybe around, well, the anxiety piece, I guess, around either thing is for me.
Okay.
Sorry, my internet kind of was unstable there for a second.
Okay. So, hold on one second. Let me feel intuitively into this, which is how I work, and see which one feels more optimal. Okay.
Oh, that works for me.
Let's work on the anxiety that you, maybe you can describe it for yourself, but the anxiety that you feel right now on this call by being here live with us. Would you like to work on that?
We could do that. There is definitely a part of me that I get anxiety before. I mean, in business, I tend to call people and I need to talk to people all the time, and I will ask a question or I'll start to engage with people. And then once they respond to me, I get in sort of this almost panic mode, like, now what? I know what I need to do. I've been doing what I do for 16 years. So there's no reason I should be panicking, but for some reason I get this little panic inside of me that's just like I freeze or something. So I
Okay.
would absolutely love to kind of explore how we can get rid of that.
Yeah, I think that would be really awesome. So you might want to, why don't you tell people, if you want to, just really, really briefly, maybe one sentence about what what you do and why it's so important for you to get past this anxiety piece.
All right. Well, I have two businesses. One, I am a real estate broker and I've been running my own real estate office for the last 10 years. And the other, I'm a business coach for realtors, which, means I'm helping other realtors. I really, sorry, my sentences kind of go on sometimes. Um, so anyway, I just really like to help people who are struggling, and I want to get them from point A to point B. I want them to enjoy their businesses and be successful and not leave our industry.
Okay. So where does this anxiety problem show up the most in your work?
For me, it really is around talking to people. This last week I've had over 400 people who have responded to different conversations I've started and whatnot. And when I go to respond to different ones, when I'm on autopilot, I'm okay, but it's as soon as I need to stop and talk, and have a conversation where I start to go, like, just kind of want to hide a little bit, I guess. So I get kind of
And so does it happen for you? I think these conversations you're talking about were social media related, right? Or
yeah.
happen on social media. So does it happen to you when you're typing back to these people, or does it happen to you when you actually go to talk to them verbally, or does it happen both ways?
It does happen both ways, which is kind of amazing to me, because I feel like the social media piece sometimes, like, that's an escape tactic all by itself, kind of a hiding. So just hiding behind the computer screen and talking to people, so I do tend to get much more anxiety when it comes to talking to people live, though, on the phone or in person, that kind of thing.
Okay. So which one of those is most extreme for you? Which one seems to be more triggering?
I think it's talking to people live.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, that would be where I struggle.
Okay, so let's say you're face to face with someone, and you've just asked them, and maybe an important question that might lead to what that would challenge you. Would it be that leads to a sale, or what does it look like?
Honestly, the biggest thing is for me going into an appointment. Really just, it's kind of like once I get going, I'm, kind of good. I'm kind of on autopilot. I kind of just know what I'm going to say next, but it's that getting there. Sometimes just answering the phone, knowing that someone's calling me and wants me to talk to them. It's also when I'm getting ready to leave my house to go meet with someone, where I am just like panicking kind of, and okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? Just full of anxiety.
Okay. So can you go ahead and imagine the situation where you're getting ready for an appointment, you're getting ready to leave your house, and just kind of put yourself there. Okay.
I can do that.
Okay. So put yourself in that moment, and you're about to go meet a potential client, a prospect, right? Okay. And what's happening for you in your body?
It's in my chest. I feel like I just have a tightness almost in my chest right now.
Mm-hmm.
It just is, just kind of frightening feeling, I guess.
Yeah. And so on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most intense you can imagine, right? Kind of off the charts, and 1 being peace. Can you put a number on that intensity?
Honestly, I'd probably say a 7. I
Okay,
do have an appointment later today, and honestly, I'm imagining that.
great. Perfect. Wonderful. That's really great. Okay. Okay. So we're going to start with some, well, let's just play with it. Okay. All right. So the first thing I'd like you to do is just imagine that you consider this feeling of fear an invitation. So it's an invitation to maybe enter into the fear that you're used to about this. So if you could just go ahead and say, I decline this invitation to go into the fear. Okay, so this is kind of an experiment, and this is not like willpowering your way through. So I just want to play with it and see what happens when you do that. And so just go ahead and you can say it out loud or in your head. I decline the invitation to go into fear around this, around this appointment.
I definitely declined the invitation to go into the fear around this appointment.
Okay, now say it is done.
It is done.
Okay, just a second. And take some breaths. And so what I'd like you to do is feel back into imagining, you're ready to leave for the appointment. And there you are. And feel back into your chest right now. And tell us, has the intensity changed at all? Is it the same? Is it more? Is it less? What's happening? What number would you put on it?
I think my chest feels like it's not as tight now. I'm thinking probably like a 5.
Great. Okay. And just a second. Okay, the next step I'd like you to take, the next step I'd like you to take is to, let me just feel about this for just a second. And I do want to let you and, the people watching know that there are times when I'm going to go into a silent place because I'm going to be doing some healing. So that's just part of my work. And I want to let you know up front, because I don't think I've ever done this with you before. So, it's a mystery sometimes when I just go off and do that. So just a second. Okay, so now what I invite you to do is I invite you to ask your spirit to gather up all the energy of this anxiety, of this fear of meeting with this prospect that doesn't belong to you. Okay?
All right.
And if some of this doesn't belong to you, would you be willing to release it?
I would love to.
Great. Okay. Great. So ask your spirit to gather it all up. And when you have that, let me know. So it might take a minute or so. Just go ahead and take the time.
I think I'm good.
Okay, good. Just a second.
I feel it a little in my throat now.
You're feeling it in your throat now? Sometimes that happens. Okay. Is it still in your chest too, or did it move totally to your throat?
I feel like it's a little of both.
Okay, great. So what's the intensity in your throat?
I would say maybe like a 4.
Okay. So your chest is still at a 5?
Yeah.
And your throat is at a 4, right?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And okay, so now ask your spirit to go ahead and compress all that energy, just to compress it all, like maybe into a ball or a box or whatever. All that doesn't belong to you. And when you have that, let me know.
All right. I think I'm good.
Good. So just for, because we're curious, how is it? What kind of shape is it?
I guess I was imagining it as a ball. Because that's how it kind of almost feels, when I get the anxiety. So I guess I was kind of imagining it as a sphere, as a circle.
Okay. Okay, great. And how big is it?
Well, I guess I was imagining little.
Okay. All
So
right.
I'm hoping it'll be little, and let's just get rid of a
Okay,
lot
whatever it is.
of it. Oh,
Okay, great. All right. So are you ready to let it go?
I would love to let it go.
Okay, great. So what I'd like you to do is in your mind, just imagine that you throw it up to the universe or to God or to nature or whatever works for you. And just after you do that, go ahead and say it is done, and I'll do some healing on my end as well. Okay?
Okay. I I I have imagined it gone. I invite it to go away now.
Okay, so you threw it away,
I did.
and go ahead and say it is done.
It is done.
Okay, just a second. And take some breaths. We're going to let that energy settle for just a few seconds. And when you're ready, feel back into your chest and put a number on it, wherever it is now. And there's no good and no bad, just put a number on it.
I actually don't feel it in my chest so much anymore. I still feel it a little in my throat, but in my chest, it feels kind of just at peace a little bit, I guess.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want you to settle for anything but total peace.
Okay.
So if there's even a little snippet in your chest, I would like you to identify it and put a number on it. Okay?
Let's call it a 2.
Okay, great. Okay, and how about what's the intensity in your throat?
I'm gonna say that it is probably still about a 4.
Okay, great. Okay, just a second. Okay, it's going to take me just a second to figure out what the next healing is for you. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so it looks like I'm going to do 4 healings for you in quick succession. And so I'll just guide you to breathe in between and then we'll check back in. Okay.
All right.
So all you need to do is just relax
I can do
and be open. Okay, great. Okay. Just a second. So again, I'm going to be silent for a minute here. Take some breaths, just regular breaths. We're just letting the energy settle for a minute. I just did 2 healings and I'm going to do a couple more. Take a few more breaths, Corey. Okay, when you're ready, go ahead and feel back into your chest and put a number on it.
I think that my chest is better. I think that my chest is better. My throat too, it feels so much more relaxed. I feel like a little tension in my shoulders now, but my
Okay.
throat and my chest feel better.
Okay, so could you put a number on it? So,
Yes.
yeah. So what is it in your chest?
I think in my chest it's probably a 1. It just feels better.
Okay, great.
Throat,
So,
I'm gonna say maybe like a 2.5.
okay. So, and put a number on the shoulders too.
You know, the just the kind of tension that I feel there right now is probably like maybe a 6.
Okay. So that's intense, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, good. All right. So just a second. So when you say it's a 1 in your chest, is it, so a lot of times I differentiate between, and I didn't say this at first, but to me, 0 is absolute, total peace, right? And so if 0 is absolute flatline total peace, where are you in your chest right now?
I'm gonna say a 1.
Okay, great.
I mean, there's still a little twinge of something, but it's
Okay, great.
in comparison to where it was.
Okay, great. Okay, just a second. I'm off to figure out the next healing. Just a second. Okay, I'm going to be doing 3 more healings for you.
Okay.
And just pretty similar to the last one. So just a second.
Sorry if I'm making weird noises.
Take a few breaths. And a few more. And let's have you go ahead and take a couple of breaths and then feel back into all 3 places. Okay. So go ahead and put a number on your chest first.
I'm gonna say that it is a 1.
Okay. And
my throat, it just feels it feels a lot more relaxed. So I'm gonna say probably even a 1 there too.
great. Okay. And how about those shoulders?
They're actually feeling kind of a lot better. Let's see. I think maybe like a 3 or a 2.5, 2.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, great. Let's see. Are you frozen? There you go. You're back. I saw you move. Okay. Okay, just a second. I'm off to figure out the next healing for you. Just a second.
Is it? Am I frozen?
No,
No, no, you're not. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to figure out the next healing for you. Just a second.
Okay.
And here are a few more healings for you.
All right.
Take some breaths, Corey.
All right.
And a few more breaths. And when you're ready, go ahead and feel back into it.
I feel very happy with my chest and my throat. I'm gonna say that I mean, I still feel a little something, but so just a 1 there, and my shoulders just feel so much more at ease. So I'm gonna say they're probably around a 2. I just feel like I'm relaxing. Like it's just so nice. I don't feel relaxed very often. So
Okay, wonderful. Okay, let's see what's next.
okay.
So here are a couple more healings for you. We've got time here, so we're shooting for 0 everywhere, and hopefully we'll get there.
All right.
And if we don't, well, we'll talk about that. Okay,
All right.
just a second. Take a few breaths, Corey. And when you're ready, go ahead and feel back into it. Let me go ahead and check in with your shoulders first.
Okay. Um, you know, I'm I'm feeling like I might be a 1. It's kind of amazing, but the intense just tenseness that I had before versus now is just pretty incredible. Um, so I'm thinking it's a 1.
Okay, great. All right. And so where are your, what's happening in your throat?
I still have a little just lump in my throat, just a little feeling.
Okay.
I'd call it maybe it might be still just around a 1. It's just like a little just twinge of something there.
Okay, no problem. And what's happening in your chest?
My chest feels better. I honestly, I think I would put it at a 0. It just feels just like what I think it should normally feel like.
Awesome. All right, great. Just a second. So let me see what else what's the next healing. Okay, just a second. And take some breaths. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next healing. Just a second. And take a few more breaths. And let's have you go ahead and check back in. So let's start with your shoulders. And how would you rate your shoulders right now?
Honestly, I'm thinking probably about a 1 still.
Okay.
But
No worries.
okay, I'm gonna say really just feel pretty amazing in comparison to how they did earlier. So, and my chest is just good. It just feels good, and my throat. Honestly, I don't feel that little knot, that little, twinge anymore. It just feels, I don't know, calm, I guess, if that makes sense.
Okay. So what would you rate your throat at?
I'm gonna say it's
Still a little bit there, right?
Still a little bit there, yeah. Just
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay, great. No problem. Like I said, we don't want to settle, right?
Right.
Because the thing is that the effects of these healings are cumulative, and we really want to get you to total peace on everything, so that those feelings of one thing that's happening is as we're working is that this nervous energy is draining out of your nervous system. It's draining out of those places that you're feeling it. And so we want to start building on that cumulative, the cumulative freedom. So we're going to keep going here. Okay.
All right.
Okay, great. All right. Just a second. Okay. Just a second. Here's your next healing. Take a few breaths.
My shoulders feel so much nicer. I love it.
Awesome. Okay, a few more breaths. Okay, go ahead and feel back in to, why don't we start with your shoulders?
All right. Kind of feel like after I've just had a massage or something, that kind of relief. Just honestly, I don't think that I feel tension in my shoulders anymore. They just feel relaxed. So I'm gonna say a 0 in my shoulders. I'm kind of thinking my chest is still a 0. My throat, I can still feel just a little twinge in there. So
Okay.
there's still a little something going on there, but
Okay, just a second. Okay, here's your next healing. And take some breaths.
I think that it is, I feel, I still have a little twinge.
Great. I'm so glad that you didn't. So often people kind of want to shove that little twinge under the carpet. And I am so glad you told me, right? Because I don't want you to settle, right?
I'm kind of notorious for shoving things, sweeping things under the carpet. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to not.
Good. Okay, I'm happy to do it. Just a second. Okay, here's healing for that. Just a second. I'm going to do 3 healings in quick succession. Just a second. Take some breaths. Take a few more breaths. And feel back into it. Let's see where it is now.
Is it okay if I do like little woohoo?
Sure, do a big woohoo.
I don't feel anything in my throat anymore. So I think we're at a 0. Yay!
Yay, that's awesome. Okay, so are you at a 0 in all 3 places?
I think so. It feels like my shoulders just feel nice and relaxed, and my chest doesn't have that tightness in it, and my throat just feels, it feels like I can swallow, and like there's just not that lump there anymore.
That's awesome. So what happens for some of us is that, you know, we think fear and anxiety we kind of have a, you know, there's a lot of information out there that tells us it's in our heads a lot of times. But what I've found is that a ton of it for some people is trapped in the body. Okay. And so what I've been doing with you is basically draining what I call the anxiety stores out of your body.
I gotta tell you, I love that because my anxiety stories are, you know, they could be a book. So
so yeah, I said stores like storehouses, but I like what you said. You said stories. That was good. Awesome. Okay, great.
Yeah, Abby, are we gonna? That was amazing, even to watch. What we went a little bit over, but it was necessary so that you guys who are watching and listening can see. It's just magic to me. How was it for you, Corey? Like the
You
whole process?
it well, it's so easy. I mean, really easy. And I don't know how to explain just the relief that it just sort of feels like it just like was pouring over me, kind of with the relief. So I haven't had much of that, so that it was a very nice feeling. Very
Yeah.
nice feeling. And the,
But how do you feel? I'm just curious. How do you feel about this appointment that's coming up tonight?
you know, I feel relaxed. I feel at ease with it at this point. I'm actually kind of excited. So that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, may we ask you to share with us later, like after the appointment, how you felt? Like comment underneath the video after you're done,
Yes.
and it would be interesting. Abby, would that be okay?
Sure. So here's what I just like to throw out a couple of things. So Corey, you'll go to the appointment and you'll see how it is. And you'll see if the whole thing is really drained fully, and or if anything, like if any fear comes back up, there could be more clearing that needs to happen. But the work that we do with this, it is permanent. Sometimes another layer can come up or whatever and need a little bit more work, but it is a permanent draining of that energy.
I love that.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah. Well, to me, it was all magic, and it seemingly, we would be interested if the audience, like you guys, if you're watching or listening, replay or real time, it would be interesting for us to know if you have a similar issue, and this issue would be similar to, I mean, a lot of people would identify themselves with this, and including me. Well, in the past. But what I mean is, please comment, you guys, if you experienced something when Abby was doing work on Corey. You can ask the same questions. I don't know, Abby, if what would you say? Like, can it work on other people when they watch it? If it's
Well, I,
similar.
I haven't really done much of this in this kind of format, so I'll be interested to hear what other people's experiences are. Certainly the first two steps they can do, those very beginning steps of declining the invitation
Mhm,
and releasing whatever doesn't belong to them.
mhm.
And the rest of what I did was, and those two steps and the rest of the healings that I did are all part of the Anxiety Antidote program. So but I haven't done it in this format before where, it's live and I'm working on someone like this, other than in my own group. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening. And this is a process, I just want to mention, that I do teach other people to do for themselves.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So if you guys are interested in how to release all the anxiety, fear, any other issues that you have around business or your personal life, please, by any means, contact Abby. You can reach her at her website, right? So abbyrohrer.com. You can see her name on the screen, ABBYROHRER.com. You can also contact her directly on any social media, Facebook, for example. Facebook is perfect. And then you can share this video with your friends who would be interested in how Abby really works with the clients. So if that is of any interest or curiosity for you, please let us know. We'll be happy to hear from you. And so, Corey, thank you so much for being such a open heart and completely, because other people are witnessing. But by doing this work, I really believe that we are healing the world. It's not only you and Abby and me hosting it. It's also we are amplifying the love and the freedom and liberation and this the energy of confidence and love and compassion around the globe. So thank you for doing that. So you guys are watching Dream Big with Zhanna, inspiring you to reignite, refire, and refuel your life. Please stay with us. Share today. Our amazing guests were the master healer, Abby Rohrer, and the amazing Corey Perez, who just got the healing. So we want to hear from you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Zhanna.